Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I think we're exceeding the 10-person threshold, but it's for a special person and a good cause in Mr. Reynolds, so he deserves it. We're here tonight to officially swear in Thomas A. Reynolds as the part-time city court judge. Last Friday, I believe, I announced that we were appointing Mr. Reynolds. First, I'd like to thank Judge Roman for his service. He will be retiring at the end of, actually effective today. So if we could, round of applause for Judge Roman. So it's my pleasure to announce that Mr. Reynolds will be the next part-time city court judge for the city of Oswego. Mr. Reynolds has been an attorney in Oswego specializing in real estate and municipal law for many, many years. He graduated from Albany Law School in 1983 before returning to Oswego to begin his career as an associate for two local law firms before becoming a partner in another law firm in 1989. For much of his career, as most of us know, he was positioned on West 4th Street as a member of Reynolds and McGowan right here in Oswego. And I know that his vast experience in both the public and private sector, along with his previous time serving on the bench from 2001 to 2007, will be a great asset to the local court system and Judge Metcalf, and I'm confident he will carry out his duties with honor. With that, I'd like to acknowledge Judge Metcalf for all the great work he has done. He's been very supportive of Mr. Reynolds' appointment, and he's been a great ally over in the court system for me during my time here at City Hall. Judge, thank you for your support. And on top of Mr. Reynolds' professional resume, he has been a great citizen here in the Oswego community, serving on multiple committees, participating with multiple local organizations and associations like the Oswego County Arts and Culture Association, served as past president of the Heritage Foundation. He served as past president of the Oswego County Historical Society, many, many other boards, including the St. Mary's Committee member, Finance Committee, as a member of the Finance Committee. So I would like to thank him for everything he's done leading up to today. And without further ado, I'd like to call up former New York State Supreme Court Justice James McCarthy to swear in Mr. Reynolds, and I'd like to call up Mr. Reynolds' family to assist with the swearing in.
Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I, Thomas A. Reynolds, do solemnly swear. To preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution of the United States and the State of New York. The Constitution of the United States and the State of New York. And the Charter of the City of Oswego. And the Charter of the City of Oswego. And I will faithfully perform. The duties of part-time city court judge. The duties of part-time city court judge. For the City of Oswego. For the City of Oswego. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations.
With that, I'd like to present Judge Reynolds for a few remarks.
First, I want to thank Mayor Barlow for the confidence that he had in me in appointing me as City Court Judge. I want to thank our retired Supreme Court Justice, James McCarthy, for swearing me in. I'd like to thank the citizens of the City of Oswego, the various departments of the City of Oswego, and the Common Council with whom I've had the great pleasure of working in a greater or lesser extent for the last 9.5 years. Of course, I'd like to thank my friends and my family who have come here today to share this with me. And for those of you who really just came for the council meeting, I apologize. It's kind of like going to church on Sunday not knowing that there's about 50 young children making their first communion. And you think you're going to be getting out early, but it's not necessarily going to happen. And I would like to make a special thank you to my ancestors, because I, like probably most all of us here, are descendants of people who left everything behind in different countries and parts of the world to seek out a better life for themselves, but for their children and their grandchildren and their children's children. And I'm fortunate to be one of those people, and I would like to think that they would be proud and happy for the results of their choice for their many descendants, including myself. Thank you very much.
With that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming and wish Judge Reynolds the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
Okay, everybody ready? 6:30. At this time, I'd like to call the Administrative Services Committee meeting to order for Monday, March 16th, 2020. Please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
Councilor McCurdy. Here. Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Zaferla.
Here.
Councilor Burris.
Here. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the March 2nd, 2020 committee meeting. Councilor Burridge, Councilor Hill.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McCurdy.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Zaferla.
Yes.
Councilor Burris.
Here. Or yes, sorry. Is there any old business to attend to this committee? Seeing none, going right to communication. Item number 1. Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. is requesting permission for the City Chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds from the General Fund contingent account to the Code Enforcement Contracted Services account in the amount of $27,948.75 to cover the cost of the demolition of property located at 110 East 4th Street. Is Mr. Miller here? Yes. You want to give us a brief rundown on this one?
I will. You guys approved it last year. Unfortunately, we didn't get the time to take it down before the end of the year. Money went back into the account. We took the house down. So now we have to pay for it. But it was approved last year for it.
Okay.
Just asking for the money again.
All right. Seems simple enough. Are there any questions or concerns on this one? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Cesario, Councilor McBurdy.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McCurdy.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Zaferla.
Yes.
Councilor Burris.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Item number 2. Police Chief Philip D. Cady requests the Common Council approve the creation of 2 new positions at the Oswego Police Department, a full-time investigator and a part-time temporary policy review specialist. Chief Cady also requests that the City Chamberlain be authorized to complete a budget amendment to pay for the same. Chief Cady?
Evening. Were everybody able to read through what I had in the resolution? Were there any questions, or I can go through and explain? It's basically the investigator spot is evidence and bail reform issues, evidentiary issues. I know there was a civilian spot created for it last year, I believe, and it's too labor intensive, and there's some testimonial issues that could crop up down the road. So myself and my staff feel this is the best route to take with the investigator position. And as far as the policy specialist, again, with bail reform, we have to go through and do a major rewrite of all the policies and procedures, and looking to move ahead with the ACLEA, the national accreditation. I'm going to need some help with that, and you can see with the COVID stuff, I'm already getting a little bit behind, so that's the other reason why I'm asking for that.
All right, very good. Any questions from the council for Chief Cady? Any issues in the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor Burridge, Councilor Cesario.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McCurdy.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Zaferla.
Yes.
Councilor Burris.
Yes. Item number 3, Police Chief Philip D. Cady requests permission to purchase software for policy and procedure management. This purchase will require authorization for the City of Chamberlain to complete a budget transfer from the General Fund contingent account to the Computer Department Contracted Services account in the amount not to exceed $5,500. Chief?
In the spirit of consolidation, this will allow us to consolidate all of our files, our training files, our FTO files for new officers, all of our policies and procedures. We'll have them all in one spot. And once we put out a new policy or procedure, everybody will log into their account, they can sign off on it, and then we have electronic signature so we know that they signed off on the policy and procedure. It's just to cut down on paperwork and kind of move ahead in the technology realm.
All right, very good. Any questions or concerns? Councilor Tesorio?
No, I'll just make a motion to approve.
I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Almost had it.
Almost. So this is to update, for example, if there was a policy change or guidelines, this would be done electronically and more efficiently. How is it done now? I just want to get a snapshot of how it's done now.
We have stuff saved in like Excel files or Word files. We have multiple files. This will funnel everything to one system. It's a cloud-based system. We still retain intellectual property rights over all of our documents. But everybody will be assigned an account. They sign into their account. We push out the policy and procedure to them. It's a general email to everybody. They log in, they sign off on it, then we have an administrative record. Currently, it's pen and paper. We put it out, the order is out, you got to log into the account, read it, and then we pass around a piece of paper and everybody initials and dates it that they went through it.
Well, this certainly would be an upgrade.
Yep, absolutely.
One last question. I know sometimes when the city buys software or upgrades software, there's like an annual fee. Now, this only lists $5,500. Is there any type of annual...
Yes, I'll have to come back in next year's budget and ask for, and that's set by the company per year. So it'll probably be around the same amount. I don't have an exact amount for what it would be for...
So this isn't a
2021.
one-time purchase, it's a...
This is for us to get...
Annual purchase.
Correct, and this is to get us up and running, get us into the system, and then...
And then down the road, it would be similar to this, or less?
Probably less. I don't have the amount in front of me.
Because it's a new installation?
Right.
Okay.
But we'll...
So we'll see you again.
Yes. Well, hopefully it'll be part of the next year's budget. It'll
Right.
be a line item, but...
Councilor Burridge?
They're going to hold all our information on their software. They're going to hold it as their memory, or are we going to have a hard copy here? So if we decide not to use them in the future, are we going to be able to ascertain that information and be able to hold it ourselves?
Right. That's part of the contract, is that we retain all intellectual rights. So anything that we put in there, we can take back out. There's no... they don't hang on to anything and say, well, you owe us another $5,000 to get it back. It's part of the contract.
All right, anybody else on the council have any questions for Chief? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor Hill, Councilor Burridge.
Councilor Fornino.
Yes.
Councilor McBroom.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Curtis.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Council.
Item number 4, Randall B. Griffin, Fire Chief, is requesting permission to amend the City of Oswego purchasing policy to include all EMS supplies and related materials to the City of Oswego purchasing policy payment by voucher list. Chief?
Councilors, good evening. This stems before the COVID-19 issue. We were having runs on medications, things like that, supplies, personal protective equipment. And so with EMS purchasing through Onondaga, it can be cumbersome because they itemize each thing. What we're getting is we're getting the wrong, it was packaged incorrectly, things like that, which by the time that process played out, it would be weeks and months. So currently, we're in March. In November, I ordered latex gloves for medical exams, and those are yet to have come in. So to streamline the process, we could have had a lot of this stuff before the COVID-19 hit. There was companies that had it in stock. So by having that ability to purchase for ourselves, we can take that into account. We can take price into account, but also delivery. If somebody has it in stock and can deliver it the next day, it may be worth it to me to pay a little bit more to have that tomorrow versus waiting 4 months to get that, particularly when it comes to medications, personal protective equipment, that type of stuff. So.
All right, very good. Any concerns or questions from the council for the chief? Any other people? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Burridge.
Councilor Fornino.
Yes.
Councilor McBroom.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Curtis.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief. Item number 5, the City Engineering Department requests that the mayor be authorized to sign Amendment Number 1 with Brown and Caldwell Associates to include construction services for the West Side Wastewater Treatment Plant Rehabilitation of Hydronic Systems Project. Jeff?
Good evening. Has been our practice with a lot of these type of projects. Once we have a firm design and do the work, we retain them to make sure that the contractor is conforming to the work which they designed. So this is just following that suit of amending the contract, their engineering services contract, to now have them do construction phase. As a point for your record, they are doing it now. We just don't have this agreement in place, but they have been administering this contract at the West Side plant currently.
And the cost, it wasn't really listed here, but the cost was how much?
$44,000
Added to the original.
added to the original, which I think was 70 some. So now we're at 114 total for that, for a $600,000 plus job.
Okay. Any questions? Councilor Tesorario?
So basically, what you're saying, we're hiring a clerk to watch the construction.
Yes and no. I mean, they bring in their own construction inspection staff. They're there having meetings, making sure they're a go-between between us and the contractor. So for submittals and approvals, some things that may be outside of our expertise, they are then acting as our professional, reviewing it and approving it.
But we awarded this job based on what? The submittals that were not placed, or?
No, the job was approved based on the plans and specs which they developed, and then they went through the bidding process through Onondaga, but they hosted that process.
I got you.
Yep, and then now as been practices, that we retain them to then make sure that the specs, as they wrote them, are being met. Part of it, to speak on the issue of having a clerk, we do have a clerk of the works, and it's the question of how that one individual can spend his time. Right now, we have the West Side HVAC program going on. We have the East Side plant going on. The sewer separation work has begun. They've mobilized. We also have any sort of infringements in the public space, and so that one person starts getting spread thinner and thinner. And so one of the ways that we supplement is on these projects, we hire those engineers to fill that gap.
Okay. I honestly think it's a little excessive, but I don't know the scope as well as you do. But $44,000 for somebody to go down and make sure that they're putting pipe in the correct way, or the equipment, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And maybe that's the cost. I'm not saying, you know, anything else. Part-time clerk, second clerk, I don't know what that would cost us either, so I guess it is what it is, but it just seems a little excessive to me. But it is what it is. Thank you.
I think Councilor Hill has something.
Yeah, Counselor, I think the important thing to understand is that if you hire a part-time clerk, they can't have expertise in every project. So what this does is it brings in someone who has the expertise on that particular project, being that they actually wrote the specs. So they would know best whether the contractor is fulfilling, you know, the design specifications and following, you know, what was bid on. So it ensures that we have the best eyes looking at the project. And if we don't have someone who's intimately knowledgeable about the project, there could be mistakes or issues.
I understand that, Counselor. Myself being in that business for 40 years, I know a little bit about it. I'm just saying, and it's no criticism by any means, is that, you know, I just find it, we have a very, very good contractor that we hired, local. you know, I got to stand behind what, you know, they're going to do. And it doesn't take much to see. I mean, you're not sitting there every day. You know, you pop down, you look at it, you see the design. The submittals speak for themselves. That's the equipment that we submitted that they're going to buy and put in. The workmanship, you know, it's in itself. I mean, you can see it. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. I mean, maybe I'm being a little too critical about it, and I'm not. I don't mean to be, but I know a lot about what goes on. I never remember all the work that I did for the city of Oswego that we ever had to have somebody oversee us other than maybe the engineering department or a clerk. So now that we're hiring somebody outside of that, and I understand we only got one clerk, but to me, that's just me.
The city engineer has indicated this has been past practice with other projects, and as well, I think part of the issue is if you're going to come to the meeting and oppose it, but say you don't really know, I mean, I think I would have maybe done the research before the meeting so that I had some solid ground to base my objections.
Well, I'm not opposing anything. All I'm saying is...
It does sound that way, that's all. I just wanted to put it out there that it's nice to have expert eyes on a project, just to prevent any issues or any mistakes. And I personally, yes, you were in the business, but I could not speak to anything on that project, and I think others would agree that would be good to have that, but
And
I
I'm
recognize
not
your
disagreeing
concern.
with you, Counselor. I'm not. I'm really not.
Okay, well, if you're not disagreeing, then I think what we have here is we have a multi-million-dollar investment in this facility, and I think $44,000 extra to make sure that this upgrade is done correctly and on time is small potatoes as far as to make sure it's done correctly. So if there's nobody else that wants to chime in here, I'd like a motion. Councilor Hill, Councilor McBurney.
Councilor Corino.
Yes.
Councilor McCurdy.
yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Guerrero.
Yes.
Councilor Burr.
Yes.
Well, surprise, there's another one for you. The City Engineering Department requests transfer of funds from the Contracted Services account A.1440.0440 to the Materials and Supplies account A.1440.0410. Jeff?
Hopefully this is a simple one. In our budget, we had a line item for drafting, printer, and copier maintenance. We have since replaced that unit, which you guys approved. Gratefully, I'm saying thank you. That unit is operational, and so we no longer have the old one for which this money was set aside to maintain it. We actually, under that, purchased a maintenance agreement for 3 years, came with the purchase price. And so this is simply moving the money out of there over now into supplies, because we now have a machine that takes different ink and different paper, and so moving it into the appropriate category for us to be able to use to supply it.
And what was the amount, do you know offhand?
It was the full amount, which was $1,450. $1,450.
All right, seems like a simple request.
Hope so.
Any questions or concerns from anybody? Nobody? Okay. Can I have a motion, please? Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesorario.
Councilor Corino.
Yes.
Councilor McCurdy.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Guerrero.
Yes.
Councilor Burr.
Yes.
Well, there's another one here for you. The City Engineering Department requests that the mayor be authorized to enter into a contractual agreement with Delta Engineers to provide professional engineering services for the Wrights Landing Marina and International Pier Ready projects in the amount not to exceed $1,120,090. Jeff?
So I wanted to preface this one with just a little discussion. We do know that this is as a result of the READY grants, which Delta Engineers worked with us to secure those grants to put a lot of capital down into our waterfront. This is going to be a flagship project. This is going to be a project that redefines that area. The mayor has fought hard for this, and so Delta Engineers has put forward the proposal to now do the engineering services. We've secured the grant, and this would actually finish out the actual design and get it to the bid phase. Now, it is a $12.6 million project, so we see a $1 million engineering fee. It's a big project that needs to be done on a short schedule, so it is well beyond the scope of the city to be able to do on its own, so it's natural that we would hire. Just to put that price tag in perspective, looking at engineering services for design, when we did the West Side HVAC system, it was 11.6% of the contract cost. The East Side Asset Management Plan that's going on, the engineering fees were 10.4% of the contract cost. The sewer separation project that's just kicking off was 5% of the contract cost. Then the EFMF disinfection project, which is a recent one, was 9.4%, and the EFMF upgrade that we did was 8.9%. So thinking of those types of projects and what the engineering fees are, the ready fee is 8.9%. So it's a pretty competitive rate when you look at what we've been paying for engineering fees. And in addition, this type of project is complex, to say the least. And so Delta has to reach out to other firms to assist them, like geotechnical firms. If anybody was down there over the last few weeks and you saw a big drill rig out on the pier from Creighton Manning, they were doing drill holes to determine how bad the scour is underneath, what kind of soils are there. Delta has expended about $300,000 just in subcontractor fees at this point. And so to understand that 1.12 has a pass-through as they're hiring people to do this expert work. And so I would encourage us to look at this hard, but also to understand that this is a small investment into a great project.
All right, very good. Thank you for explaining that. So they've done some preliminary work. Can you explain to us this 10%? I've heard this term, 10%. Is this something that they've done?
The 10% plan?
Plan, yeah.
So in order to secure the grant, they had to not just come up with a pretty picture, but they had to actually develop 10% of the project. And so the idea is it's not just enough to draw a pretty picture. You actually have to show some feasibility, you have to show some budgetary numbers, you have to show that you've looked at the scope, you've looked at the site, and found it to actually be a viable project. And so the 10% is a mechanism that allows the state then, when they're looking at these projects, that if you've shown this much effort, you've felt it out that this is a good project that's actually going to happen. And so that's what that's happened, and that's what Delta has been working hard at. And they have approved our 10% plan, the state has. So we're ahead of a lot of other ready projects. Mm-hmm. We are moving ahead full steam.
You want to offer the public and the council the breakdown. The $1.1 million is actually, there's two numbers. There's a Wrights Marina portion of it and an International Marina. Do you want to tell us what those numbers are?
Yes. So the Wrights Landing portion of the project would be $404,550, and the International Pier would be $715,540.
And based on those numbers alone, and then you were giving us that it's 8.9% of the overall project, this amount of the cost for this engineering, I'd have to say that the International Marina is going to be the most costly of the two projects, correct?
Correct. A lot of the work that's occurring, the top is going to look great, but there's a lot of work occurring to stabilize that pier in order to be able to last longer and to make it more secure and definitely more stable for ongoing time.
All right. Well, thanks for answering those. Anybody else have any questions or concerns for our city engineer? Oh, wait a second. There's a question here in the corner.
Not a question.
Comment.
This is a compliment. This guy's done a better job than the legendary guy that was before him. Very good job, by the way, explaining it. The other guy was in a clog all the time.
Okay. After that comment, anybody else? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please? Councilor McBurney, Councilor Hill.
Councilor Corino.
Yes.
Councilor McBurney.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Cabrera.
Yes.
Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Item number 8, Kevin Caracoli, City Attorney, requests an executive session to discuss the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property of the proposed acquisition of securities or sale or exchange of securities held by such public body, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value thereof. There's several properties, 132 West Oneida Street, 181 Seneca Street, 157 East Oneida Street, 75 Mercer Street, 154 East Seneca Street, 111 East 4th Street, and 268 West 5th Street. I suggest, and I will entertain a motion to go into recess for this committee, as we do have another committee, Physical Services, that needs to take care of some business. So we'll ask for a recess on this committee, and then we'll revisit this after the next committee. Can I have a motion, please? Councilor Hill, Councilor Burridge.
Counselor Cordia.
Yes, for recess.
Counselor McCurdy.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Ferrero.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee for March 16, 2020 to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Bird.
Here.
Counselor Walker.
Here.
Counselor Goodson.
Here.
Could I please have a motion to approve the minutes from our March 2nd, 2020 meeting? Councilor Walker, Councilor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business under communication. Item number 1. The Special Events Committee, through the Office of Economic Development, received a request from Julie Chetney on behalf of the Oswego County Autism Task Force to organize the Outrun Autism 5K event to be held on this date changed. It's actually May 2nd, 2020, not April 4th. Would you like to speak?
Evening, councilors. I believe this race has been done in the past. This is up in Fort Ontario Complex. It's a pretty straightforward run that they're proposing to have.
Are there any questions for Mr. Emmons? No? Could I have a motion, please? Councilor Walker, Councilor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Item number 2, the Special Events Committee, through the Office of Economic Development, received a request from Julian Walter from SUNY Oswego Black Student Union to host a basketball tournament on Saturday, May 2nd, 2020, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mr. Emmons?
Yeah, so they're looking to have a basketball tournament down at the Garrett Dunsmore basketball court. Looking to have some food and music, also use the pavilion while they're down there.
Does anyone have any questions on this event? Okay.
What's the date, excuse me? What's the date?
May 2nd.
Anything else? Okay. Could I have a motion, please? Councilor Gozick, Councilor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Item number 3, the Special Events Committee, through the Office of Economic Development, has received a request from Ken Oyer of Oyer Timing regarding Oswego's Parade Mile that will follow the same route as the parade just before the 4th of July Independence Day Parade on Saturday, July 5th, 2020, at 12:45 p.m. Mr. Emmons?
Councilors, actually the Independence Day Parade is on July 6th, 2020, not
Ooh.
5th. So just wanted to point that out
Update
to you. This is a new thing, a new request in terms of a race to be held right before the parade. I'd like to thank our friends at DPW and the traffic folks for helping to arrange with State DOT in terms of the race, and that's been all kind of cleared through them. So with your permission, this race is good to go in terms of using the parade route.
Okay. Any questions on this event? Could I please have a motion? Councilor Walker, Councilor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson. Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Another event, item number 4, the Special Events Committee, through the Office of Economic Development, has received a request from the Oswego YMCA regarding the 32nd Annual Harborfest 5K and 10K community event to be held on Saturday, July 25th, 2020, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Councilors, again, an annual event. The YMCA is really good about getting their information in very early in their planning processes, so we certainly appreciate their due diligence with this request.
Any questions for Mr. Emmons? No? Can I have a motion, please? Councilor Burge, Councilor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Bird.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
And the last event, item number 5, the Special Events Committee, through the Office of Economic Development, received a request from Mary Kay Stone with Friends of Fort Ontario for the Madeline Festival to be held on Saturday, June 6, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Fort Ontario Complex.
Again, an annual event that's grown over since its inception. It's a fantastic event, and they're looking to do it all again this year.
Great. Any questions on this event? Okay, could I have a motion, please? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Item number 6, Thomas Kells, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, has received a request from Ann Wilder to donate a memorial bench in memory of her son, Brian C. Wilder. You'll see on the request, it was actually requested that the bench be put in Brightbeck, but she offered that she would look at an alternate location as long as she was involved in that process. And I see in the resolution that the DPW will be working with her to pick that location. So, any questions on this request? Okay, could I have a motion, please? Counselor Walker, Counselor Burge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Item number 7, Thomas Kells, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, has received a request from Brittany Rogers on behalf of the St. Lawrence Eastern Lake Ontario Partnership for Regional Invasive Species Management for permission to have a boat launch steward educator at the public boat launch at Wright's Landing periodically throughout the 2020 summer season. This is a recurring request. No issues in the past that I'm aware of. Everything good? Okay. Any questions for the Commissioner? Could I have a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Item number 8, the zoning office has received a request from Amy Marie Lear, owner of commercial property at 192 to 194 West First Street, located in the 3rd Ward, for use of public space to install a retractable awning fronting West First Street. This was one of the Downtown Improvement Fund grant winning projects through the DRI. Amy is here if anyone has any questions for her, but there was a really nice mock-up in your packet, so hopefully everybody had a chance to see that. Any questions? Council?
Through the chair, from the pictures that were provided, the before and after, it looked like there was already an awning there years ago. Was I mistaken in the old before pictures? Was there one there before?
So there has been a awning there for at least since the 1940s, probably older, but it was decrepit to the point where I had it cut off.
Okay. So this is basically replacing one that has been there for years. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Councilors, just a brief note. This is probably the first of many requests you'll see come through the council this year regarding awnings. We're using a single-source company for all the awnings down on West First, and there will be multiple requests coming before you, all part of the DRI process. So Amy here is our first amongst many. So.
I think we're happy to see these projects get underway. Any other questions? Okay, could I have a motion, please? Councilor Gozick, Councilor Burridge.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
And the last item, number 9, the zoning office has received a request from Jeremy Grady, contract purchaser of a single-family dwelling at 34 East 4th Street, 20.25 feet by 7.5 feet, to enclose an existing porch between the sidewalk and the property line fronting East 4th Street.
This actually came before you in the fall. Our office had a little confusion and made a mistake. It's a contract purchaser, existing porch that's in public space that they're looking to enclose, so we always run it through when there's a change for that. There was actually a name involved that ended up going on there, so this is coming back through to clean it up. This is actually the correct name and the correct people.
Are there any concerns with the project from your office?
There is none. There's actually an existing porch. They're just enclosing it. They're not coming more into public space. They're not changing the footprint. We just do it for legal reasons and to have the right insurance on file, and that's why we're bringing it back through to clean it up.
Great. Does anyone have any questions? Could I have a motion, please? Councilor Burridge, Councilor Walker.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Walker, Councilor Gozick.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Goodson.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to reopen the Administrative Services Committee meeting. We did vote to go into recess. I'd like a motion to come out of recess and go into executive session. Councilor Hill, Councilor McBurney.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurney.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Ferrera.
Yes.
Counselor Curry.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Your data isn't backed up. Fix this thing.
Swipe out.
Oh. Now we go to... Now, we gotta go to council. Common council meeting, yep, 6:30. There we are. Haha. Oh, you son of a bitch.
This time, I'd like to come out of executive session. Can I have a motion to come out of executive session? Councilor Hill, Councilor Burridge, please call the roll. Yes.
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 All right, I believe that was the last item under this Administrative Services Committee meeting. Is there any other business to attend to? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Hill. I'm sorry. I don't see any other business to take care of. I'd like a motion to adjourn. Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrearty. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Holmes.
Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to open it up for public session. Anybody in the public want to speak? See none. Isn't this council meeting?
No public session.
We don't do
Special
it.
meeting.
Oh, it's a special meeting? Okay. Well, anyway, because I'm feeling extra courteous, anybody in the public like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close public session, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrearty.
Here.
Councilor Burridge.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Walker.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Testorio.
Excused.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
6 present, 1 excused.
There you go.
He went to the airport. He asked me if he could go.
Right now?
Yes. He had to pick up a friend, he said. He has one friend we know of.
Not anymore.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for adjusting to the change in schedule here. I'm going to announce more changes tomorrow and Wednesday to city government because of COVID-19. One of the announcements that I'll make in the next 2 days is going to be that after, the reason why we moved this council meeting up to tonight is because it'll give our tech department an extra week to convert all city meetings to not in person, so we'll be able to FaceTime, Skype, or conference call in. And we're establishing a system where the public will still have an opportunity to speak. During those meetings, we very rarely do we have public members speak here, but we still want to make that available. And we will continue to post the meetings within 24 hours like we do on the internet and on YouTube. So just this, by moving the council up, it allows us to complete some quick city business tonight and it just gives us an extra week to make that transition. There'll be more to, I'll have more to say on city operation and all of that stuff tomorrow. Any other business under the mayor's report? Seeing none, will clerk please call resolution 76.
Approve minutes common council meeting held March 9th, 2020.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 77.
Appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 78.
Approve use of public space, Amy Lear, owner of commercial property located at 192 through 194 West 1st Street in order to install an awning.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 79.
Motion to rescind resolution number 370 dated September 23rd, 2019.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor McBrearty. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 80.
Approve use of public space, Jeremy Grady, contract purchaser of property located at 34 East 4th Street in order to enclose an existing porch.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 81.
Approve use of public space to the Oswego County Autism Task Force in order to host the Outrun Autism 5K event to be held Saturday, May 2nd, 2020.
Councilor Burge, Councilor Walker. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 82.
Approve use of public space to the Friends of Fort Ontario in order to host the Madeline Festival on Saturday, June 6, 2020.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Burge. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 83.
Approve use of public space to the Oswego YMCA in order to host the 32nd Annual Harborfest 5K and 10K event on Saturday, July 25th, 2020.
Councilor Burge, Councilor Walker. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 84.
Approve use of public space, Ken Hour of Hour Timing in order to host the Oswego's Parade Mile Race on Sunday, July 5th, 2020.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please, actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask to table 85. I just want to add, need more clarification and add more detail, which I'll get the next meeting. We have plenty of time. So, do I have to ask them to table it? Can I have a motion to table this just for till the next cycle? Councilor Burge, Councilor Hill. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes to table.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes to table.
Councilor Burge.
Yes to table.
Councilor Hill.
Yes to table.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes, the table.
Motion to table passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 86.
Approve use of public space to SLELO Prism for their boat steward education program at Wright's Landing during the summer season.
Councilor Burge, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes
Will
601.
clerk please call resolution number 87?
Accept donation of a memorial bench from Ann Wilder in memory of her son Brian C. Wilder.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Corradino, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call resolution number 88.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with Delta Engineers for professional engineering services at the International Pier and Wrights Landing Marina Ready projects.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Hill. This is for the design and engineering for the $12.6 million we won from Ready to improve and elevate sections of the Wrights Landing Marina and add in and build in some new amenities and make the shoreline not so vulnerable to the high water that we're in the flooding we're seeing from Plan 2014. It also includes the International Pier project where we'll reinforce the pier with sheet piling around the perimeter and then transform the pier from what's now the gravel drive to an interactive pedestrian-friendly boardwalk. As I'm sure Jeff said earlier, while it may seem like that's a lot of money, it's about 9% of total project cost. Most of design fees range from 15 to 20%. So I think they're being reasonable there. Also, Delta is working with us on our FEMA declarations as well, both FEMA declarations, so it makes sense because the projects really are the same projects happening all at the same time. The only difference is the source of funds. It makes sense to have the same engineering team with the same concept, the same budget process, the same understanding the vision we have for our waterfront and putting that on paper for us. So that makes sense. I know the preliminary construction schedule for the Ready projects, we're looking at July for demo work in the Wrights Landing area and some paving in the Wrights Landing area. The demo work will be to actually demolish what's there to reinforce it with sheet piling and elevate it. We're looking at July for Wrights Landing and then International Pier. We've pushed them back, keeping them to light demo work through the summer until after Labor Day so we can get most of the boating season in, and then after Labor Day they'll start with their heavy construction, major demolition, and really work into the fall when the water's at its lowest, get a lot of the work done, and then it'll take just about all of summer 2021 for Wrights Landing and the International Pier for work down there as well. On top of that, we have our other grant money that we discussed last week with the renovations of the bathrooms in the marina that we're doing in-house with the DPW, work with the pavilion. We have the Brightbeck Park shoreline reinforcement project that's scheduled to begin this summer. So I would ask the stakeholders involved with the marina and our entire waterfront for that matter to be patient. It's going to be a mess beginning in July. We're going to do our best to try to accommodate people, but it's similar to what we did in downtown last summer. We know it's not going to be pretty. We know there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of construction, a lot of inconvenience, but we're going to be better off in the long run after it's all complete. And if you can bear with us, I thought the downtown business owners, all things considered, did a great job, understood it, they were patient. I think they all would agree now we're actually better off than we were last spring. I suspect the same thing will happen at the waterfront. So DPW is already working on renting out slips at the marina. So we are planning the construction work based in deciding who we rent slips to, who we don't, how we're going to work around the construction down there, how we can help the boaters and people down there work around the construction as we see it. Of course, this tentative timeline could change based on high water level, rain like we had last year could be a problem, but that's the schedule as it exists right now. Any comments? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 89.
Authorize mayor to sign amendment number 1 with Brown and Caldwell Associates for construction services for the West Side Wastewater Treatment Plant Rehabilitation of Hydronic Systems Project.
Councilor Burge, Councilor Cordino, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 90.
Approve amendments to the purchasing policy.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Hill, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Will clerk please call Resolution number 91?
Approve the creation of 2 new positions at the police department.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Cordino, any comments? This stems from my State of the City address last week. The investigator position, we are going to bring in to, number 1, handle the increased workload from all the New York State so-called bail reform laws. It'll also loosen up another body in the department to get out on the street. The second position is the part-time position to help with policy and procedure updates as well. It's a part-time temporary position based on that assignment. When that assignment's complete, their time here will be done. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution number 92.
Approve transfer of funds from the general fund contingent account to the computer department contracted services account for the purchase of software for use by the police department.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Hill, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution number 93.
Approve transfer of funds from the general fund contingent account to the code enforcement contracted services account to fund the demolition costs of property located at 110 East 4th Street.
Councilor Walker, Councilor Burge, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution number 94.
Approve transfer of funds from the engineering department contracted services account to the engineering department materials and supplies account due to services no longer necessary.
Councilor McBrady, Councilor Cordino, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution number 95.
Waive rules of the Common Council to present resolutions number 96 and 97 from the floor without committee consideration.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Burge, any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor Burge.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Walker.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution number 96.
Authorize the city chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to cover the cost of providing child care due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrady. This stems from today's announcement. We're contracting with the Oswego YMCA and Little Luke's to offer child care to city residents. This obviously is related to COVID-19. What we saw yesterday, being Sunday, was that between 2 and 3 o'clock, the county declared a state of emergency and shut schools down countywide. That left less than 24 hours for parents who rely on school to make accommodations for their child care. Luckily, we have community partners in the city like Little Luke's and like Oswego YMCA who immediately worked. I was in conversations with them up until 11 o'clock last night, immediately worked to increase their capacity. And I thought once we saw their efforts, and we know the need is out there, and we know the need is in such high demand, and we know the need is urgent on top of everything else going on, I think the city has a responsibility to do the right thing and help make the child care that became available accessible. So that's why we're putting in this measure. We're paying approximately $44 a day per slot. By slot, I mean per child. And what this does is there's about 80 slots that are now available that weren't available. We hope to fill those. We believe the demand's there. The math in this resolution is $100,000. I don't think we'll come anywhere close to that, but where this gets us, if you do the simple math, is near the reopen date for the school district. That reopen date is extremely tentative, like everything else right now, so this may get us beyond that open date, and then once this runs out, if it runs out, we'll come back here and have a conversation of if we want to continue, or if the demands actually, if the slots are being used and we think the demand is what it is, or if we discontinue and think that after 2 weeks people have had time to digest everything going on and have worked to make other accommodations. I can see that being a realistic thought as well. What's important here is they shut schools down suddenly, and what we don't want to have happen are people, especially nurses, staff in the doctor's office, hospital staff, first responders, taking work off to stay home with their child. They're the exact people we need in their job more than ever. And for them to have, number one, the stress and anxiety of what are they doing with their child, and number two, having to contemplate taking a day off or going to work when we need them the most, is not something as mayor I can sit here and allow to happen. Not now, not during everything that's going on. I think the public's expecting a lot from us, and they're expecting, and we're relying on our healthcare providers even more. So I think it's the right thing to do. I think it helps people out in a time when they need it the most, and it shows where our priorities are as a local government, and that we're willing to step up and do the right thing and help people even in such complicated, uncertain times. So I'm proud to do this. I'd like to again thank Little Luke's and the Oswego YMCA for stepping up. The YMCA actually closed before they were mandated to close today as a gym to do this and increase capacity. And I'm happy to partner with them and look forward to continuing conversations with other community partners moving forward as we go through this difficult time. I said earlier, we're all going to have to rely on one another, communicate with one another, work with one another, take other organizations, people, businesses, governments into consideration when we make decisions. When you make a decision to close a school, there are several ripple effects that come with that. So it's not as easy as let's close the school today, effective tomorrow. Those are the types of conversations we need to have ahead of time and actually plan for not only the decision, but the consequences of every decision. Any comments from the council? Councilor Corradino.
First of all, I'd like to commend you for this proactive approach to this situation that we're in. I just wanted to clarify, you made it quite clear as far as the cost, $44 a day for the 80 slots. Just a question of where would the money come from? Is this going to be a budget amendment?
Yeah, what we're asking the council to do is to make a budget amendment just to the operating budget for 2020.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
What you're doing tonight is not to, essentially a not to exceed 100, and then we will, I'm collecting weekly numbers from each organization, and we haven't exactly ironed out how often they want to be paid, whether it's going to be weekly, every 3 days, bi-weekly, or if we'll just administer the program and calculate the end total and pay that all at once. So We're working on them. I've expressed to the two organizations we'll work at their convenience, but understand it could take a couple days to process payment at City Hall. So that's where we stand.
All right, thanks.
Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, just point of order. I did have a conversation with the Chamberlain today. She does not only support the measure, but also provided the account information to establish this child care account.
All right, very good.
Any other comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBurney?
Yes.
Councilor Burge?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Well, Clerk, we're going to actually replace Resolution 97 with a resolution to administer the property sale. A couple weeks ago, we established, at least for this cycle, a property sale where we put out the list of properties that the city owns that we would like to sell. We posted them on the city website for, I believe, 45 days. People had 45 days to come in and present sealed bids to the city clerk's office. Tonight was the first night that the council or myself saw the bids. We opened them in executive session, went through each bid. I want to reiterate again that we stated explicitly back when we started this process that we weren't necessarily interested in the high bid. We were interested in the best use, most appropriate use, a use consistent with our goals as in administration and a local government to award while awarding these bids to the property owners who put in the bid. So I'll let Kevin decide how he wants to word this resolution, but 97 is to sell the listed properties that we've had listed for the last 45 days.
I'm going to defer to the city clerk because he has the language.
Approve the sale of property owned by the City of Oswego pursuant to sealed bids.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Cordino. I'll let the city attorney list the addresses, the number of bids received for each address. He'll state the name of the person we are awarding it to and for how much.
Thank you. And just to reiterate, there were a total of 7 properties that we advertised for sale. We received sealed bids on 6 of those 7 properties. The first one, and this is not in any particular order, 268 West 5th Street. The winning bid is to David and Irene Dewey for $500. They were the sole bidder on this property. Their investment, they are projecting to invest $40,000 to $75,000 in that property. That was a vacant lot. Next is 154 East Seneca Street. There again was only one bid for that property. Mark Tormino bid $750, and he's proposing to invest $2,000 into this property, which is next door to another property he owns. Third property is 111 East 4th Street. George Snyder, who is a next-door neighbor, bid $500. There were 2 bids for that property. Mr. Snyder is proposing to invest $15,000 to $20,000 in this property. The fourth property is 110 East 4th Street. Peter and Celie Cardone are proposing, are bid $1,025. There were 3 bids for this property. They are proposing to invest $8,000 to $15,000 in that property. This would expand their backyard. Their property abuts this property. Should be noted that they are also ORA participants and have a plan to expand their backyard, create a garden, and invest in that. The fifth property is 132 West Oneida Street. Adam and Aubrey Avery bid $16,000. They're proposing to invest $15,000 to $20,000 in that property. There were 3 bids. their bid was the successful bid. The sixth property, 181 West Seneca Street, Jeff Tonkin bid $3,500. There were actually 8 bids on this property. Mr. Tonkin's proposal was successful in that he proposed to invest $40,000 to $60,000 in a complete upgrade to that property, inside and out. I ran a couple of numbers that I think are particularly interesting. The total purchase price of those 6 properties is $22,275. The total proposed improvement, taking the maximum that the property owner proposed, or the bidder proposed, total is $187,000. You combine those two amounts, those 6 properties would generate $209,275, almost $210,000 in added investment in the city of Oswego. So I think at this point, I'll defer to the mayor, unless there are questions. Ultimately, it would be a vote for the slate of proposals.
Take a motion and a second. Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Burridge?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Any unfinished business to come? What? Difference does it make?
We just
You
have
had already
to
called
council
one.
report.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Who was
you don't
first?
need- Just, I would go with the first
First
in
one.
terms of point of order.
Hill and
We'll
Cordino.
go.
You get the honors, Hill and Cordino. Sorry, Gozick and McBrearty.
You can do the next one.
Mayor, I'd make one final announcement or caveat. With respect to the bids, if anyone is interested in seeing these bids, they're public bids, they're open to public inspection. They'll be available at the city clerk's office when that office is open and available to take people.
Okay. Any unfinished business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor Walker, Councilor Burridge. Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Cordino?
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty?
Yes.
Councilor Burridge?
Yes.
Councilor Hill?
Yes.
Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Gosick?
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Meeting is adjourned.